Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of In Lieu of Murder. I'm Amanda Marie.
And I'm your other host, Ainoa. Today we're going to talk about the case of Eric Hill and Rosa Hill. It's a custody case that took a terrible turn. Usually, when there's divorce, it's messy, right? And when there's divorce that involves children, it's even messier. So it's good to have the right tools for the job. That usually means an attorney. But in this case, it meant samurai swords, ninja stars, and guns. So let's get right to it. We're back. Okay. So Eric Hill, he's the type of guy that, like the 40-year-old virgin. He's the type of guy that you should really give a chance to, but you don't. You friend zone him. Like he's really nice, really intelligent, but he's just not, I don't know, he's a dork. He's a geek. So he hadn't really ever had a relationship with a woman, or so his father says, right? And in early 2002, right, Eric Hill was working in social services in Alameda, California, where he met Maylin, right?
Okay.
Maylin, she was super friendly. She was more gregarious. So she would make a lot of friends in the office, the opposite of Eric. Eric was kind of like sheltered and taken back and didn't really talk to a lot of people, but he found a bond with this woman, with Maylin. And one day she's like, "Hey, we're going to do like a hiking trip with everybody in the office. So why don't you come and join us?" And that's when he met Rosa. Rosa was Maylin's daughter. Now, Rosa, she had a background in engineering. So they bonded because they were both kind of dorky, and she laughed at his jokes. They seemed to like each other. She kept talking to him, telling him about stories about how her job was in Silicon Valley, et cetera, et cetera. Right. So and this is a picture of both of them, just so you can. They're actually kind of cute together, I
Aw, they
think.
are.
They are really cute together, Eric and Rosa. Now, when he finally got the nerve to ask her out, which is, for a guy that has never dated before, that has to be nerve wracking. But he felt comfortable enough with her to ask her out, and she said yes. So they started dating, and, you know, things where his family were kind of suspicious of her, his friends as well, because she would do weird things, like if they were in a room together, when with his parent or with his dad or with his grandma, they would be conversing, and instead of Rosa responding to his dad, for instance, he would like do like this to his ear and whisper in his ear, which is,
So she wouldn't respond directly to his parents?
no, she would, you know, she would do that.
Uh, can we just talk about that for a second? Isn't that strange?
That is super strange. I mean,
Because
that's
I
a
feel like
major
I'm a
red
very
flag.
shy and reserved person, especially the first time I'm meeting someone's family, but I don't think I've ever, like, whispered to who I'm dating to speak for me.
Me neither, because I mean, that's their parents. They want his dad wanted to, think she's really shy, right? Maybe that's why she's doing it, because she's really shy. But it is really odd behavior. It's like a way of controlling the room. Like, it's
Especially if everyone's staring at you waiting.
Yeah, and it's super disrespectful too. Like I don't my mom would have beat my ass.
Yeah, no,
if-
no, hands down. My mom would have been like, "What is wrong with you?" Mm.
exactly. So also other things that she was starting to do, like if the dad or the friend called him on the phone, she would pick up because back then it wasn't just cell phones. People actually had landlines. I know, weird. I know.
And for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a phone that stays in your house all the time.
All the time. You can't take it with you. So when they would call him, she would pick up the other phone and she would listen in to his conversations to the point where Eric had code words with his dad and his friends to, let him know, hey, she's listening, right?
I
And
feel really bad for Eric so far. His first relationship sounded very toxic.
it was, but listen,
I'm
Amanda,
gonna keep listening.
here's the thing, okay? This is his first relationship, and I have to say that pussy is powerful, okay? And he saw all these red flags, but it didn't matter because
Listen, sometimes it doesn't because people do some dumb things for love. And even if it's not love, people do even dumber things for lust.
they really, really do. And even though he saw all these red flags, and in retrospect, he's like, maybe I should have stopped dating her. You
Right.
know, at that moment, he was like, man, but you know, everything else is great. So let's just ignore the red flags,
Mm,
which
okay.
we all do sometimes. I can't say nothing.
I've never
Never.
ignored red flags.
They're pink.
I've
It's a
never
carnival.
thought yeah, I've never thought that it was a carnival or a circus, ever.
Never,
Mm.
ever. And he introduces her to his grandma. His grandma is so sweet. She's like super old, but she is so sweet. She even has a boyfriend, and his name is Lester, which only makes me think of Lester the molester, but not
So, I
related.
don't even though it's not the actual name, anytime I hear Lester, I think about the Addams Family because of Uncle Fester.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's
Very random, sorry.
very random. Yes. Stop interrupting me. Just kidding. But yeah, his grandma is super sweet. They had a great
Oh.
relationship. They grew like she didn't raise them, but they had a very close relationship growing up, he says. So his grandmother was super happy too, because she was like thinking grandchildren, right?
Right.
Finally he gets with a woman. Finally, I may be able to have grandchildren before I kick the bucket, right? So
Aw.
she was super happy, and this is a picture of all three of them together. And as you can see, they looked fairly happy. So despite all the reservations from his friends and his family, in 2004 on Valentine's Day, love was in the air. So he proposed. He got on one knee and said, "Will you marry me?" And she, of course, said yes,
Did she
right?
whisper in his ear?
Yes. Oh,
Mm.
um, but of course, her possessive behavior had already begun to show. And after they got married, they had the honeymoon in Hawaii. And he was like, okay, this is perfect. She's going to be able to unwind and relax because maybe she was acting more erratic because of the pressure of like the wedding and stuff like that. She had been really stressed out with the wedding. Um, so maybe this will give her time to chill out and come back to her normal, and we'll have a great time. We'll enjoy our time together. But it didn't. And things started getting worse during the honeymoon, which is supposed to be like the
The best
funnest.
time.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the best time. But things got so bad that they got into an argument and she tried to punch him. She missed. He pulled back. She missed, but he says this was the first time that I realized she was not afraid to go there. And she was not afraid to become physical and become violent. Up
which is
until
kind of
then,
scary to find out on your honeymoon.
yeah, it really is. Because up until then, I had been like possessive behavior and like quirky things that are definitely red flags, but nothing super violent. But at this point, she crossed that line.
Right.
And I don't care if you're a man or a woman, you shouldn't be fucking crossing that line. And to him, I understand where his like fear came from, because you don't actually have to make contact and hit someone. Just the fact that it can happen, I mean, it makes you nervous inside, right?
Right.
So after the honeymoon, they do go back home. They go back home, and things were getting worse. She started cutting him off from family. So she would make demands like, hey, if you want us to work, you need to stop talking to this friend. And if you want us to work, you need to stop talking to your grandma. You need to stop talking to your dad. So she started isolating him from family, which is something that abusers tend to do, is isolating them, their partner, from their family, taking away all types of all the support that they may have, so that they have nowhere to turn. But he met all her demands, right? He cut everyone off. And in 2006, the fruits of their labor came to fruition, and they had a daughter. Slowly but surely, she started like going to her parents' house, to her mom's house. So he would go to work, and then he would come back home, and she wasn't there. And at first he was attributing to the fact that they had been arguing a lot, because there was a lot of financial tension. They had spent a lot of money on the wedding and the honeymoon, and now with a new kid, which children are fucking expensive.
Mhm.
um there was like financial tension, and she controlled all the finances. Like, he all he did was go to work. She was
Was
no
she
longer
working at
working.
all? Oh, okay, so she wasn't
No.
working at all.
Yeah, she wasn't working. So she wasn't working. He took on a second job. He worked at the Alameda, social services, um in the morning, and then at night he worked at a pharmacy.
Okay.
So he actually, if I recall correctly, he had about 4 hours or so between one job and another. So when he
Hmm,
got off the pharmacy, he had about 4 hours to sleep before he had to be at the social services for Alameda County.
that's
So
no life at all.
that is no life at all. And he spent as much time as he could with his daughter. But it was taking a toll on him, the fact that when he would come home, his daughter wouldn't be there, because Rosa just left. She kept leaving. She kept going to the mom's house. And it was a few times at first, and then it started becoming practically every day, to the point where it caused a rift, a separation, right? They decided to separate, or she decided to separate. He didn't, because he wanted 6 kids and the perfect Catholic marriage, right? And he was also surprised that she wanted a separation, because she claimed to be a devout Catholic. And
Right.
Catholics, you're not supposed to divorce. So, which I think is stupid.
Listen, I have my own opinions on being Catholic and divorced, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on this one.
Um, so the divide finally culminated in divorce on in 2007, and she did not want to share custody of the little girl, right? So they started having a battle in court. Eric did end up gaining about 50% custody of his daughter, at which point Rosa falsely accused Eric of sexual abuse.
Ooh, that's a rough one. Like, so, and I want to say this because I feel like it's rough for multiple reasons on a man's side. Like, not only does he never want his daughter to experience that, but to be the one accused of doing it, it's heartbreaking. It only brings up, any past trauma that anybody else has had, and then it's one of those things for that little girl where it's like, if she was that young, how is she gonna know? Who does she
Mhm.
believe? So then it's one of those things where he's thinking, okay, and now I'm gonna have to prove to her the rest of her life I didn't do this.
Exactly. And I mean, he went through a deep depression. He was investigated by the courts, but also his job. I mean, Mei Lin, which is the grandma, still worked at the same place he worked at. Now she was in a different department at this point in time, but just the rumors, like work, it creates a toxic work environment. Rosa also called his job at the social services of Alameda County and said that he was a threat. So he was suspended from
Hmm.
his job and forced to go see a psychologist to be evaluated before he could return to work.
What?
I know. This woman was a hot mess. She really, really was. And here we have the grandma with a little one, with a baby. I know, babies are cute, huh? But I mean, the little girl was loved, but at this point, the baby almost became an obsession, right? If you have kids and you really love them, you will make sure that they have the love of both of their parents. I mean, unless the other parent is a murderous bitch, then you should probably keep the kid away from them. But
Agreed. I mean, I think there's a couple reasons to keep kids away from people. Not just murder.
you're probably right. You're probably right, Amanda.
We'll
But
see.
we'll see. But definitely murder should be a reason to keep a kid away from the parent, I think. Unless it was a murder with reason. Like, if you kill someone because like the dad that shot his daughter's sexual abuser
Right.
on live
Well, yeah,
TV.
no,
Yeah.
there's certain circumstances I completely agree. If that dad is defending the child,
Mhm.
then
But
absolutely keep him. I mean, you can't ask for a better person.
keep him in my life. I want
Yeah.
him to be my father.
Or getting remarried. I don't know. But again, I see red flags, I see carnivals. So,
Oh, the police thoroughly investigated Rosa's accusations, and they determined they were baseless.
mhm,
So this backfired for her because the fact that she made false accusations, the court ended up giving him 70% custody, right?
got it.
She got mad, and you know how they have mediators in the court, right? So whenever a kid goes with one parent, they have this person that goes and checks in. um Rosa kept being like super erratic and super angry, which led for to them going back to court, and eventually he gained practically 100% custody. I think it was 90-10,
Wow.
where he had most of the custody. And this is wonderful for him. Also hard because now he's a single dad. He has to go to work. But he's managing. He's making it work. He moved back in with his grandma, his lovely grandma. She actually took him back in because you're not going to say, no to your family. So she moved back in, and I just want to make a quick note here. Grandma, I think this is so cute. Grandma had like a 4 p.m. call with her boyfriend Lester um every week or every day actually that they didn't see each other, that they weren't spending time at each other's house. They would, wait by the phone. They would call each other. They would like have like a glass of wine or something to drink and they would do like a phone date.
Y'all, that's
Um
gonna be me if I'm dating when I'm old.
And she was like 90 something. So she was in frail health, but she was still, I like the fact that she had a boyfriend.
Go granny. Go ahead.
Um, so he's living with her. He's taking, the kid to daycare, going to work, picking the kid up, going back home to live with grandma to grandma's house. And one day, he's at work, hasn't returned home yet. And Lester calls the grandma, that calls his girlfriend at 4 p.m. and she doesn't pick up. And so he waits like 10 minutes and leaves another message. It's actually so heart-wrenching because you can tell in his voice how worried he is about her, right?
Right.
So he's like, "Hey, you haven't this is Lester again. You haven't answered your phone. It's been." He makes a notation of like how many minutes it's been. It's been 5 minutes. And he hangs up. He waits like some more time and he's like, "Hey, it's Lester again. I'm trying to call you, but you're not answering your phone. It's been 20 minutes." And he hangs up and calls back again. And by the fourth or fifth time, he's worried. Now,
Logically, I would be
yeah,
too.
he doesn't think foul play, right? Maybe. But she is in her late 90s or early 90s, like 91, I think. So maybe he's thinking something could
Maybe
have
he thinks
happened.
she fell or something. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe she didn't have life alert. Remember those commercials?
I do. I listen, I used to want a life alert thing just because I thought it was cool to have a button around your neck.
um so he Lester actually calls his son and his daughter-in-law to say, "Hey, can you please go check on her?" So they drive up to grandma's house, and at that point, Eric is coming. Eric pulls up, so he's coming back home from work, and he has his daughter with him. And around 5:45 p.m., they all of them enter through the garage, into the home looking for grandma. They stay downstairs. The son-in-law and the no, sorry, the son and the daughter-in-law stay downstairs while Eric and his daughter go up the stairs looking for grandma because she is nowhere to be found. She's not in the garage. She's not downstairs. So they start walking upstairs. Um, when they get upstairs, they are met with Maylin and Rosa. Well, the daughter and Eric, because the other two,
Mm,
like I said, stay downstairs. They start arguing, and the son of Lester and daughter in law hear the commotion, hear the arguments, and run to the neighbor's house to call the police.
okay.
Right. But during this time, they taste him. They start beating him with bats, with
Who is they?
Malin and Rosa. And I'm telling you, she's like Rosa is dressed like she's like, I don't know, Blade or something. She has like a black trench coat and black pants and a black shirt, and she's just black
So that's the
sunglasses.
wife and the wife's mom?
Yeah, the wife and the wife's mom.
Wow, okay. Like, I
So
feel like my mom's a ride or die, like, I can count on my mom for anything in the world, and I might have some ex-boyfriends that she wants to kick in the face, but I don't know if she'd help me, like, jump my baby daddy.
I
So
don't
go
know.
ahead. That's a ride or die for you, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think my mom would probably help me. I don't know. I'd have to ask her.
I think she would too.
You think she would too? Um, but anyway, so they're up there and they're like beating him. They're he tries to fight back. He does manage to get I think it was the bat from them, and tries to swing it or hit him back. He does make a couple contacts, but they do take it away from him and continue beating him. And at one point, Rosa pulls out the gun and points it at him, and Maylin gets really close to him. Maylin is the mother, and says, "Listen, she gonna kill you. If you don't sign over custody to her, she's going to kill you. So I need you to say that you're going to sign over custody to Rosa, or you're gone. You're dead." And he's scared shitless. He doesn't know what to do. He has he's bleeding. He's been tased. He's been fucked up beyond belief. And he is really, really, really scared. Um, at this point, the police actually arrive in at the scene, and they go upstairs. Rosa runs away and hides in a bedroom. When they go upstairs, they see Maylin and Eric, and they say, "Freeze." Does Eric freeze? No, the Eric does not freeze. Eric, poor man, he runs because he's afraid of Rosa shooting him. And he wants to run away to a point where she doesn't have, because he knows where she ran to, where she doesn't have an advantage point. You know what I mean?
Right.
And is not able to shoot him. The people that do shoot him with a taser are the police.
This poor man.
I know, and he says that this one really, really hurt. I guess, the police tasers are more powerful, I don't know.
Yeah,
Uh,
no, they are.
they are. But not only was he tased and beaten, but then he was also tased and arrested, put in handcuffs by the police. Because the police, obviously, for their protection, and I completely understand, you walk into a scene which is chaos, right?
Well, yeah,
Um,
and you never know who the corporate is or what they're gonna do.
Exactly. So they handcuff everyone. You can hear the little girl. She's locked in the bathroom, which is super sad to me that she
How old
was,
is the little girl?
I think 3 or 4.
Okay,
She was
so it's
pretty. So
locked
this
up
was 2009. She was born in 2006. So 7, 8,
3.
9, 3. So she was 3 years old. Yeah. So she probably doesn't remember, but it's still kind of traumatic, experience for a kid that shouldn't have happened. But the police, they get everyone, you know, arrested or put in handcuffs, and they take him down to the police station for questioning, because they're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. Like,
So,
what's
Eric was taken down to the police station too?
yeah,
This poor
they
man.
yep, all three of them, all three individuals, Rosa, May, and Eric, were, taken to the police station in order for them to assess. Um, During their investigation, they obviously discovered the meticulous plan to frame Eric, right? But at first, when they were asking Rosa uh, why she was there, she said that she was just there to check on Sally, which was the grandma. Um, she just wanted to check on her.
Where is the grandma this whole time?
Nobody has found her yet.
Oh, okay, okay, so we just haven't gotten there yet. Cause listen, I'm sitting here going, "Well, was the grandma in the bathroom? Like, was she in a closet?" But okay, got it. We're still not there yet. Got it.
No, no, no. Nobody has found her yet. But they were like, "Well, so was Eric or Sally, the grandma, aware that you guys were gonna come over?" And they were like, "No." Then because she said that when she got to the house, the grandma wasn't there, right?
Okay.
So the police were like, okay, then why were you in the
In the
house?
house.
If nobody knows that you're coming and grandma's not there, then how did you even end up in the house? And you could tell, like, little by little, that they could tell, obviously tell that she was lying through her teeth.
Right, that she broke in.
Yeah, that she broke into the house. Or maybe she didn't. Maybe grandma did open the door because there were no signs of forced entry, right?
Okay.
So, um, while they're obviously they realize that Eric was the victim in this whole situation. Um, but they kept talking to both Rosa and Maitland because at this point they knew that something stunk. Okay, there was a cat in the bag. Is that a saying? A cat in the bag? I don't know. It is a saying
It
today.
okay. It's, don't let the cat out of the bag.
Oh,
But, no, it's cool. It's cool.
listen. At least I think I get it from my mom because my mom saying he's not playing with a full dick. I think I do the same thing with sayings. I just
On the other thumb.
on the other thumb, I just take sayings and I just turn them around. Yeah. Um, so they're continuing the investigation. They're running through the house. They're looking at all the evidence in the house. There's blood in the hallway. But still no grandma. They look in the garage. They look in the car. They look in the kitchen, under the beds, everywhere. No grandma. Right. Um, and then they look in the shed outside.
No.
They open it and they see a blanket and a foot. And when they get closer, they pull her out and they see it was unfortunately Sally. She had been strangled, wrapped up in blankets, and then thrown headfirst into a trash can. And
Mm,
then, mhm,
that's
yep.
really sad.
Sally did have defensive wounds, so she had obviously tried to fight them off,
Right.
obviously unsuccessfully. But they kept searching around the area. They found a backpack, and
Sorry, you
behind
said that twice in a row, and so every bone in my body wanted to sing the Dora song.
backpack, backpack.
I just couldn't help it as soon as you said it the second time. I was like, "Oh, it's time. It's time to sing the song." Mhm.
That song, it's really funny in Spanish. Mochila, 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 mochila. But anyways,
So, I was just gonna sound really dumb, so I'm gonna say it, just because you said that. So, I don't know why I didn't know that Dora was also in Spanish.
yeah, it is. But in Spanish, what they do is they teach you English.
Oh, that's kind of okay, that's cool.
Yeah, that is, I mean, pretty cool.
Is that how you learned English?
No, my mama
Because that
taught
might be
me.
what's messing up with the sayings, like
No, my mama taught me. That's what's messing up with the sayings.
okay, so when they found the grandma did they know for sure how the grandma was killed?
Yeah. I mean, they could clearly tell she had strangulation marks, so she was obviously strangled. But back to the backpack. That behind there was like a piece of wood leaning on the fence,
Mm,
and behind the piece of wood was a black backpack. Inside of the backpack, they found handcuffs, robe, ninja stars. Like, who the fuck do they think they are?
well, and this
In their
I don't
car?
feel like that's a normal thing, and so I can't say anything. I have throwing knives, but I
Mhm.
actually bought them to learn how to throw and aim at trees and stuff. I live in the mountains. That's the stuff they do
At
out here.
trees. Stop lying. Why you lying? You know it ain't no trees you're trying to hit.
But no, I mean, that's a normal thing out here, like, there's axe throwing and things like that. So,
Mhm.
that's why I bought these, throwing knives, but I don't feel like owning ninja stars is a normal thing.
I don't think I mean, I know, but I don't
Is
think
it a
it's like
cultural thing?
I don't think so because they were in Japanese. These women were in Japanese of Japanese descent that I know of. I think they I'm not gonna speculate, but because I didn't actually look it up, but pretty sure they were in Japanese. So I don't know.
Okay, so cool, note to self, buy ninja stars.
Yeah. But in the backpack there were ninja stars. And in their car they found a samurai sword. I feel like they're overprepared because if they're already taking a gun, I really don't feel like
Yeah, what is all the other stuff for? Like, if the
I
gun jams up, you're gonna grab the samurai sword out of the car?
or the ninja stars out of the backpack, like, just in case, like, poor Eric, he's not even like,
They
he's a
were way
geek.
overly prepared for this murder.
They really, really, really were.
I don't
And
know why they didn't bring a bomb too.
they also, they also went to the house, still Malian's and, Rosa's house where they lived. This is Rosa, by the way. Like I said, she was all dressed in black.
I don't care what anyone says. Rosa looks like she owns ninja stars.
She does. But they went to the house and found to-do list that says take archery classes. Uh, go to the the range. I don't know what else it says, but it has like a detailed
Wow.
list of it has a detailed list of what to do, which I think is super stupid. Like, listen, I'm not a murderer and I don't know anything about murder, but I'm pretty sure that if I was to kill someone, I would not leave like to-do list
Yeah, no,
and
this thing says check out requirements for pilot's license. They got a whole escape plan right here.
they really, really do. They have a
Protective
whole
equipment for day. Okay. This is weird.
yeah. I mean, would you keep I mean, I know you have ADHD, so it's important to keep a list and be organized, but
I probably would put it in my, I have a 5-year planner book, it's called Get Shit Done that I carry in my purse so that I can remember what I'm doing each day, and it probably would be on there, it'd be like Friday the 13th murder, like, it would be right
exactly.
there.
And in preparation, buy ammo, buy a gun,
Right, no, that'd be
just
a couple days before that, like, stop and buy revolver, stop and buy
exactly.
ninja stars.
Stop and buy bleach, to clean up afterwards. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's not perhaps something that you should burn before you go and commit the crime. Like on the day of the murder, you should already be done with your to-do list. You know what
It'll
I
be
mean?
on my to-do list, burn this book.
You should have already done that. They also, looked at the internet searches, and those are so damning for a lot of people. Um, because everything that you look at, especially back then, I don't think they had incognito tabs, which even nowadays I feel like a really good CSI could probably pull up what you looked up even in incognito, to be honest. But
Yeah.
I feel like
You
that's also
People think that you go incognito and it doesn't mean anything, but if they pull your IP address, they can see every time you've gone incognito also.
exactly the only, maybe saving grace there is if you have a VPN or something
Yep.
and to hide your IP address. But even then, though, there were cyber cafes, there were libraries. Come on, man. Go to a fucking
Listen, I'm still
library.
reading parts of this list because it's really funny to me.
What does it say? I'm gonna be honest, the print is really small and the handwriting is like cursive and it's hard for me to read. Um,
Okay, so it says I'm reading the to-dos on the right, and it says, "Email Matt to see what's up and tell him about," and then you can't see it. Set appointment to get passport within 1 to 2 days. Get passport application filled out. Find out how to modify GPS tracking system. Check out residency requirement for Nevada and get Nevada's driver's license and ID for a car and motorcycle. Go to more shows with M and get more equipment. Check out requirements for pilot's license. Get equipment harnesses for quick access.
that's for the guns.
Check out archery club membership. When I can have a locker to store equipment. Get dental appointment for cleaning.
I mean, at
Fine.
least she's taking care of her teeth.
Well, it makes me feel like maybe she had planned to bite him.
Maybe.
Get removed stuff. Find a remove stuff.
Oh, revolver. Find revolver stuff because they had a
Oh,
revolver.
okay.
Yeah.
And then it says, "And take care of that."
Yeah.
And then
So
revenge against some for Rosa. Hold someone's picture in your hand, and they shall pay for which has been done. F with the power from the sky, earth, and sun. I use my will for all of their trouble. For now on, they shall receive struggle. Is that her poem?
I guess it is. They even had a name for this whole endeavor. It was called Operation Custody.
They couldn't even be
Um,
creative.
I guess not. I mean, it's funny.
Operation Stork Recovery.
It's crazy to me, honestly. The to-do list, I feel like I don't know. It's a little bit
Listen,
crazy
it's
to
not
me.
her fault. If she has ADHD, she's got a semi plan. Because if you don't, then you don't know what you're doing that day.
But they okay, so the whole thing with the archery class is because they also found a bow and arrows. So I have no fucking clue what this woman was thinking. Like,
Listen, she was trying. I'm gonna do this. That's it. I'm getting ninja stars and samurai swords and a bow and arrow and a revolver, and I'm just gonna take every class I can possibly think of to murder someone, so that I have all of the ins and outs of how to accomplish these things. And I'm gonna start with the list.
yep, and don't burn it. Just leave it there for the police to find.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely. I'm gonna actually
A-
bring it with me and just hand it to him.
absolutely. Um, Essentially, what they wanted Eric to do, just so you know, because is they wanted him to confess to sexually abusing their daughter and confess to killing the grandma and
His
then
grandma?
his grandma. And their plan was to have him write that letter and then they were going to shoot him and make it look like suicide. So like a murder suicide. Like my grandma found out that I had actually been abusing my daughter and then they therefore, I therefore not they sorry. I therefore killed myself
Okay.
because the pain was too much to bear. But
Which is absolutely atrocious that they would try to do all that just for custody.
yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. And we usually look at cases. I mean, usually women, I mean, all of the cases we've covered, the woman has been the victim in some way or another. But I mean, this one, poor man.
She's evil, like, and poor Eric, like he sound like a really decent person. There are not a lot of, and this isn't me talking trash. This is just how I see it in general. but there are not a lot of men in general that step up to the plate. There are not a lot of men in general that would take on full custody of their child because they want to worry about working and doing stuff like that a lot more and not having to also take care of a kid. So the fact that not only did he do anything financially he needed to do to support his daughter, but the fact that he stepped up and took full custody when she was in a toxic situation with his mother shows the kind of man he was.
Mhm. Well,
And they
he
were just
is.
trying to set him up, sorry, is. And they were just trying to set him up to be this horrible person.
Yep. I
I
mean,
didn't mean what, y'all. Eric's still alive.
he is still alive and he's thriving. He's happy with his daughter. Um, and here's a picture of both of them together. That's him and his daughter.
Oh,
So they're happy together. But I feel like this is gonna sound bad, but with men that are so nice, the men that get friend zoned, unfortunately, um, sometimes it's. Uh, I think he was easy to take advantage of.
and I completely agree with that, and she probably saw that from the very beginning.
She did.
The sad part about this is now, not only his first relationship real relationship, but his first marriage and the mother of his child is this toxic, horrible person. Like, it it concerns me, sorry, it confused me because there's something moving behind your head.
It's my
Um
cat.
um,
She wants to be
sure.
she wants to be a star.
She has ninja stars. Um, but, for me, like, how do you move on from that? Like, I know, like, I was in a very bad marriage situation, and that alone was really hard for me to move on from. I couldn't imagine if I had a child and he had put me through all of those things.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
He has I mean, he has gotten therapy. So he did say that he went to therapy to try to, just confront um the demons that came from this entire situation. Are you laughing at my cat? Because I have the other cat, the cat cookie jar over there. She's like, "What is this?"
Yeah, she looks like she's about to push it off the shelf, just so you know.
Traitor, you're not real. She's probably gonna go get some ninja stars and a samurai sword.
I know, she's about to do something, it's gonna be live on camera, we're gonna get it all. Mhm.
Um, but he did get some help. He did get therapy. He is, you know, really sad that he lost his grandma this way. Um, and sadly, Lester died shortly after uh
Probably
Sally.
from a broken heart.
Probably from a broken heart. Yeah, this is them together. I mean,
Oh, they're so cute.
they are so cute, and to find love at that age, yeah, it's really sad. He died shortly after her. It's really sad that she had to lose her life because these two women, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking. Obviously, they weren't thinking much because, again,
No,
they're
they were
planning.
overthinking. They planned, like, 7 different murders for one person.
They really, really did.
And they brought
But
all that stuff with them and they strangled the grandmother, like, why didn't they do something more creative? And I'm not being mean, but it's just like, gosh, you had all these options.
yeah, they did have all those options. I mean, if it should have begun by not lying and not making stories up about Eric in the first place, to be honest with you.
Mhm.
But they took it there. They wanted to get their way one way or another. And trials and sentencing happened in June of 2011. 2011. Rosa Hill was found guilty of first degree murder for killing Sally Hill and the attempted murder on Eric Hill. And she was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. The mom was also sentenced. She was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. And they both remain incarcerated. And I think is Choquila, Choquila State Prison for women.
Where is that at? What state? Do you know?
It's in California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how
Uh,
long ago did this happen again?
the sentencing was in 2011. The murder happened in 2009, and they met in 2002.
2009. So it's 2024 right now. So it's very possible that 5 years from now, one of them could get out.
Possibly. I'm not sure. I don't think they'll ever
Do you
get out. I
think in
think they're gonna spend the
situations
rest of
like
their life in
this,
prison. Uh,
in situations like this, is like Eric and his daughter get a order of protection for forever? Or like, can she get out and try to see her daughter?
to be honest with you. Um, and Maylin is definitely not getting I don't she's in her 70s now.
Right.
She's old. I think Rosa should be in her late 40s. So
Mm,
I hope not. I hope that they never get but neither the grandma nor the mom. I hope that they never get to have a relationship with the daughter. Um Maybe the daughter when she's older she'll want to know more about it, but I'm not exactly sure. Nobody knows. But
right.
that was the story for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it. I had fun telling it to you. I'm gonna go stock up on some ninja stars and a samurai sword. Listen, I love martial arts. I wouldn't mind having some around just in case. I need to make a to-do list and
Which
plan.
I don't know if I like where you're going with this. And I just want to throw that out there because I don't own any ninja stars and I'm not comfortable with you having ninja stars. Bow and arrow I'm okay with. But
Well, there you go. You get the bow and arrow, I get the ninja stars and the samurai sword. And then we can start our own action movie.
I'm just gonna end tonight with saying if anything happens to me, guys, you
Nothing
know
would
who
ever
to
happen to you.
you know who to talk to.
Like and subscribe.
It's love with a twist. Dating disasters you can't resist. From first dates to court dates, we've got it all. So grab a seat and join the fun. In lieu of murder, we're number one.